Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to have a discussion, hopefully, about Mama Tot and Officer Udi and why they are both being canceled over on TikTok right now. And I'd also like to bring this back around to misinformation versus disinformation and how a lot of people are labeling certain things as misinformation when it is very clearly disinformation instead. So we're going to have a discussion. If you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, now I've never really come out and made a super direct opinion about Mama Tot. I did share some concerns that I had well over a year ago when she came out in support of Jessica Kent. I felt like she, kind of like she's doing now, didn't do any efforts to look into the situation or anything of the sort, and I felt like it was concerning. But current day, there's a discussion happening over on TikTok because she came out and made a video talking about the hurricane victims. And she sat in her car like she usually does as a reminder when she sits on the floor or she sits in the car and she's acting as if she's having this one-on-one conversation with people, she is capitalizing off of that parasocial bond that she has with her followers. Mama Tot is a brand. She is not somebody who just happened to build 12 million followers and is being exactly who they think she is. If you think that Mama Tot is your friend and her videos always come from the most genuine place, you are probably parasocially connected to her. And especially when you brand yourself as a mama or a parent, that really, for some people, can fill a void, and those people are more apt to parasocially bond with these creators that are acting as if they are a mama or a papa or a big sister, big brother kind of role through their content. She went ahead and hopped in her car and made this video saying, "Aren't y'all mad? Aren't you mad? People, can't feed their children and nothing is being done for these poor people."
You ain't mad? Because I'm mad as hell. You know that mad that you just get so angry that you just cry about it? You're so mad you just cry about it. That's how mad I am. Like, they have lost everything. Everything. Imagine walking outside of your house and seeing nothing that you ever worked hard for just gone. I've seen houses just completely just slide down the mountain. I'm seeing people making videos because they can't find family members. How are they supposed to apply for something if they don't have electricity that does not get their baby fed in this moment? Like, the job they had, the building is gone. Like, how is nobody mad? I'm so fucking mad.
That is simply incorrect. And that is where misinformation versus disinformation comes into this conversation. I want to read it verbatim. Misinformation is false or inaccurate information, getting the facts wrong. Disinformation is false information which is deliberately intended to mislead, intentionally misstating the facts. She disinformed her 12 million followers as to what was happening. In between her and Officer Udi, Officer Udi was much more blatant in the way that he put out his video saying, F Joe Biden, F Kamala Harris, of course mispronouncing her name, which is deliberate. His video was far more unhinged, in my opinion, in the way that he stated it.
Not gonna lie, never thought I'd be making this kind of a video towards Officer Udi, but here we are.
This video may not sit well in some of y'all's spirit.
Well, so far that we can agree on.
But I need to talk about it because it hadn't sat well in my spirit.
Seeing I was a big fan of yours, making this video isn't sitting well in mine either.
Guys, I don't do politics.
Yeah, that's what this video's about.
I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, Left or right don't make no never mind to me. I tell you all the time, be a good human being, love people the right way, and don't hurt kids, and you and I will get along just fine.
And that principle of letting people love who they want and protecting the kids is exactly why you and I got along just fine.
But as I set off again to try and go do my part to help as much as I can with what's going on and the devastation that took place from the hurricane.
Again, that's a quality about you that I've always respected, is the fact that you care for everybody else.
And after meeting so many amazing people yesterday, hugging their necks, listening to their story, watching tears flow down their face, and actually seeing the devastation for myself, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris can kiss my ass.
Well, that took a turn, and that's why I'm making this video. But why exactly are you mad at Biden and Harris?
Joe Biden, you gonna get on national television and tell the whole world you got nothing left for these amazing people?
Well, that's not entirely true, because a lot of you want to sit there and twist the words of Biden simply to make it fit whatever agenda or narrative that you want to push. What Biden meant when he said no was that he had exhausted all avenues to help everybody that was in distress from Hurricane Helene. But no matter what this man does, people will always seem to twist his words. But what else did you have to say?
Kamala, you want to take your ass and parade it around California doing dumbass podcasts talking about absolute nothing?
No, because she was also on the floor surveying the damages. She was out there, like you, trying to see what more she could possibly do to help these people. Her and Biden had put a ridiculous amount of FEMA agents over there to talk to everybody and try to get them whatever they need immediately. But again, you choose to spin a false narrative on what's really going on.
Make it make sense, guys.
Fine. The governors of those states who, before they could even call Biden, had realized that Biden already had everything in place for them, would disagree with you. Even Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House, would disagree with you, because he said it himself that Congress would take care of 100% of the bills. Because Biden and Harris didn't want to have to take another chance of having another disaster like Katrina, they had already pre-given the money, and FEMA had them set up, ready to go after the storm, because they knew it was going to be this bad. They just didn't know the extent of how bad it would be. But again, that's something you chose not to look into, but instead you chose to perpetuate this lie that's being spread about them.
We got all the money for everybody else, but we ain't got money no more to help these amazing people.
See, this is where research comes in, because what you're thinking about is called the SSP, the Shelter and Service Program. They are a small share of FEMA's overall yearly budget. They were created for the Customs and Border Protection agencies in the safe, orderly, and humane release of migrants in holding cells. But you would know that if you did research.
You know what? I got a better idea. North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee, they now identify as Ukraine, so send them some money, Joe Biden. Send their ass all the money.
They are literally covering 100% of the cost for the damages caused by Hurricane Helene. $750 that was given out that a lot of you seem to be having an issue with is because they were giving it to people for immediate use to buy groceries, food, gas, diapers, things they needed right away to keep themselves sustained until they can figure out how to pay for everything else. The families that had flood insurance, they told them that they were going to cover the deductible for everybody that needed to pay that so they can, again, get back on their feet. But you guys would rather believe a lie perpetuated by your failed president, Donald Trump, than you are to actually do some simple research and look to see that Biden and Harris are doing everything in their power to help those affected by the storm.
It don't make no sense that we have something like this happen, an absolute catastrophic event happen where thousands of people's lives have been lost, people's homes, people's dogs, people's everything is gone, and y'all got nothing for them?
I get you're emotional. And I am too, because this is a very sad tragedy. But I urge you to do some simple research before making videos like this.
I don't care who you put in office. Don't make no near mind to me, but they deserve much better than the bullshit they getting right now. They deserve a whole lot better than the bullshit they getting right now. Shame on you, Joe Biden. Shame on you, Kamala Harris.
No, Udi. Shame on you. They're literally making sure that the federal government pays for everything. They're taking care of any sort of finances that comes from this damage. So tell me, Udi, what else do you want them to do?
And anybody else that don't see a problem with that bullshit, you can go get bent too.
I always saw you as a respectable man. I always thought of you as an honorable person. And then you get on here and regurgitate these lies. You get on here and you try to deflect your anger of what happened onto the wrong people that are actually trying to help. And now I'm looking at you differently, because your response to all this simply speaks volumes about your character. I never thought I'd be making this kind of a video about you. But if 2024 has taught me something, is that if you give people time, they show you their true selves. And I guess we finally saw who you truly are.
There is a way to feel genuinely devastated over a natural disaster, and then there is a way to approach it in such a antagonizing, exaggerated manner. And I think, in my opinion, based off my perspective, it's the manner in which these videos were put out. That is why the two of them are simultaneously being canceled on TikTok. I have talked for ages on my channel about the responsibility that comes with a large platform. And no matter how you build that platform, if you have 5,000, 5 million, whatever followers, you have a responsibility to make sure that the content that you are putting out is genuine, it's not fear-mongering, it's not spreading disinformation. And if you don't know about something, look into it to inform yourself before you spread this disinformation, because you heard it parroted from whoever else. Now, Mama Tot did take down her video for a short period of time. As of earlier today, it was posted back on her page, but that's not going to help anything. Now, some people, and granted, I've only seen one version of this video, but there are some people saying that this new version that she re-uploaded has been edited, and in some form of an original video, she was talking about only $750, which we know the $750 thing is for immediate relief right now. It is not the only help that they are getting. It is the first step in help that they are getting, which is immediate money. I want to play this video from a TikTok user, Snapback Now. She did a really great explanation of this, and she has actually been through a natural disaster, so I felt like she had a little bit of a unique perspective. So let's watch her video and then we will continue on.
What you said was, are you mad? Aren't y'all mad? Aren't you mad about homes sliding down the mountainside? Aren't you mad that someone can't get to the baby and feed the babies? Aren't you mad that they don't have electricity, to fill out their paperwork? That's what you said, along those lines right there. You made it political. You made it political, especially when you go to, they don't have electricity, fill out that paperwork. Aren't you mad? And that's how you left it hanging. You left it open-ended and hanging on that. So yes, it became political. And I see what you're saying now. I don't know about you. I truly don't now. I don't see a lot of your stuff, but I did see that video and I seen what you're saying now. And don't be a victim. You pulled that video down. Why did you pull it down? If you didn't think you did anything wrong, if you didn't think the video was wrong, why did you pull it down? Huh? But you're right, you did not talk about $750. You did not talk about a president or this side of the government or that side of the government. You didn't. No. But you did make it political. Aren't you mad? How are they going to fill out that paperwork?
What I want to say right here is one of these comments says the video up now is edited. That's the point. What she originally said that made it political was edited out. For context, again, I didn't see that version. I'm just dropping it in here. Some of y'all probably saw the original. Sound off down below. What was in the original, and what was in the original obviously was much worse than what was left in the video that is still up, which it was only privatized once people from those affected areas were telling her, you are wrong, this is wrong, you have been spreading false information, please fix this. And then the video was down and then back up, and I don't know.
That's what pisses me off. As someone who's been through disasters, through a hurricane disaster, through a small, little town that had the big explosion from a fertilizer plant. You know, that'd be the last thing I'd want to hear from somebody. Aren't you mad? Huh? Aren't you mad? That was wrong. You know what people want to hear in that situation? For one, we know we're coming together in that community. Communities around are going to come to us and help us as well. And that's exactly what plays out. The people are strong. The people are going to protect each other. They're going to help each other until other help can get to them. They need to hear that you will get through this. They needed to hear that they will get through this. The cavalry is coming. The help is on the way. Supplies are going to get to you. Even a person knocking at your door trying to help you fill out a paperwork, or your neighbor that has phone, or somebody that's come in that's able to do it, or someone that things work out because the community itself all comes together. That's what they needed to hear. You will get through this. Not are you mad? Aren't you mad? That was wrong, girl. That was wrong. And that is how it became political. You know that.
The thing I kind of gather from not everyone, but there are some people online who they struggle with kind of reading in between the lines. They struggle with listening to something and realizing that it is actually veiled in a certain narrative without it actually being really clearly labeled. This is the narrative that this is trying to push. They can't kind of point out the fake outrage. Here's what I want to say. Anytime I present a problem, I would like to present a solution. And the way that this could have gone, instead of Officer Udi and Ophelia Mama Todd jumping on their platforms and making these videos, here's the way that it could have gone. It could have been a video filled with positive affirmations, positive words, positive thoughts, not thoughts and prayers, but some resources and some positivity and kindness. And I think that's another thing that people felt, I wasn't disappointed because I wasn't a fan of Mama Tot, but some people felt disappointed, and it's because they are used to her being uplifting and a positive light in their eyes. So they see this and it's confusing. It is not what should have happened. It is not the video or the content that should have been put out. Now, after the fact, people left her comments and said, how can we help? And she came out with a second video saying how people could help. That should have been the only video. Now, Officer Udi also has a really big platform. He has almost 10 million followers on TikTok. And with Mama Tots around 12 million, let me double check that. And with Mama Tots 12.9 million followers, imagine the reach that both of them could have had if they pushed organizations that were helping these communities alongside some positive words. And, there's going to be cold weather coming into North Carolina here soon. How cool would it have been for her to list the resources and also send 100 jackets for men, women, and children to an organization that is local and is working with people in the community to make sure that if they lost all of their clothes, they at least had a jacket. That would have been the way to not turn into this mess that it has turned into.
Not one time have I ever used my platform for politics, for any of that stuff, right? Because, for one, people don't know how to talk to one another when it comes to politics. They just don't. They hate you if you don't agree. I can't deal with it.
I don't know where this controversy is coming from for this movie, Sounds of Freedom. Everybody should be going to watch this movie, okay? Your coworkers, your friends, your family, everybody. Because if you think this isn't very real, you need to wake up.
Oh, you want to defend Mama Tot? You want to say she's never gone political? Okay. Why is she promoting Q films? Why is she promoting this conspiracy theory garbage? The likes of which, by the way, was promoted by Dr. Peterson himself. And yes, I use the term doctor both pejoratively and ironically here. Oh, you need a refresher? Sound of Freedom is the brainworm trafficking film based supposedly on the guy named Tim Ballard. And despite their denials, there's plenty of material out there pointing out all the connections. But even if there weren't, you need not look further than the fact that the film itself is promoting a satanic conspiracy theory behind trafficking. Okay. Actual anti-trafficking experts talked all about how harmful this film was because it was in no way accurate, but it actually gets better. Because it turns out that Tim Ballard, the self-lionizing hero that the film was supposedly based on, is currently facing multiple allegations. The guy had to step down from his own anti-trafficking organization because it turns out that's the sort of thing he's into. Now I know what you're gonna say. Mama Tot didn't know that. Maybe she genuinely didn't know that when she posted. However, that post is still up well over a year later. And I can only assume that she was absolutely called out for it, and a lot, not because she posted any sort of apology or anything, but because she turned off the comments. And since we know her preferred initial line of attack is just deleting comments that call her out, the call out comments must have gotten pretty numerous. I can forgive a good person having bad information, but she, first of all, has a platform. So she has a responsibility, especially if she's going to come on here and tell people that they need to inform themselves. You gotta admit, it's ironic. Number two, she was given good information. She was clearly corrected and called out. That video is still up there. You don't want to believe the compassion is fake? Fine. But it's at least a front.
I have never made my page about politics, and I'm not going to. I don't talk about politics because I'm a Trump supporter, and I realize that makes me look very hypocritical considering I positioned myself as a queer ally. Because for one, people don't know how to talk to each other when it comes to politics. They just don't. Okay, they just hate you if you disagree. I'm okay with your rights being taken away, but I'm not okay with you hating the people that want to take your rights away. That's just a bridge too far. And not once have I used my platform for politics or any of that stuff. Being apolitical is a conscientious choice and brand strategy that helps me reach more people and therefore make more money. Plus, that stuff doesn't affect me, so why should I pretend to care? My page is about love and laughter because I love on people, all people, everybody, you know? I don't love you. I don't know you, and you don't know me either, but it's really important that I continue to foster this parasocial relationship because I have a lot of rainbow merchandise that I need to move. I didn't say anything about FEMA, about presidents, past or future presidents. I didn't say anything, none of that. And I'll continue saying nothing. But as usual, my silence will speak volumes.
Okay, let's talk about what's going on with Mama Tot because I see a lot of people like trying to figure it out, and so I just figured it out. So a couple of days ago, Mama Tot posted this video where she talks about how people are having difficulty applying for FEMA aid, or at least she insinuates it. And she talks about how angry she is, like how can people apply for stuff if they don't have, if the building where they worked is gone. And a lot of people are feeling like this is spreading misinformation and definitely elevating right-wing talking points that FEMA is not serving the community that has been affected by Hurricane Helene. And then she posted this follow-up video yesterday talking about how she has never made her account anything political. And I honestly think this video probably did more damage than the first one. So people are feeling like they discovered that through the first video that she made that they understand a lot more about her political beliefs. And that's what the first wave of all of these videos have been about. Mama Tot has created this following in this community that is very queer positive, that is based on inclusivity and love. And a lot of people are just wondering how that would gel with a Republican vote. And I think this video only served to confirm everybody's suspicion. Because rather than coming out and being like, wait a minute, everybody's saying that I am this way, but I'm actually this way. It's incredibly obvious when the person comes out and says, well, I've never been political, which is a massive privilege, by the way. And a non-position right now is still very much a position. And somehow it always ends up being the Trump supporters that say like, well, why can't we just disagree? And I think that's because for us, a disagreement on political issues actually means that like you believe in the rights of some people, but not in the rights of others. You believe in the importance of some and not others. And I think a lot of people are having trouble squaring that with her.
For me personally, and I know that a lot of Mama Tot's fans are going to be all over this comment section and irate because they are irate with anyone who speaks against her. Her branding has always come off as disingenuous for me personally. and it felt very performative. And I think that now she has finally done something to allow people to read in between the lines and recognize that you can jump up and down all day and say that, oh, that's not what I meant, or y'all are misconstruing it. You have to understand, like, people on social media are more intelligent than you are. A lot of times. It's happened to me several times. Stop treating people as if they are stupid and finding something within your words that does not exist. She's just mad that people caught what she was trying to push. They caught on to it. They're mad. Some are mad and confused. Some are mad and upset. Some are mad and not caught off guard because they kind of saw this coming. But either way, I'm going to insert some other videos from other creators throughout this to extend the conversation. I might make a part 2, but in between her and Officer Udi, it's very troubled waters for them. If you're going to put out content like this, people are allowed to respond to it. Period. That's the way it works.
You were Mama Tot, and you spent years and years building a platform and a brand on inclusivity and love and kindness and acceptance and just, you know, especially towards LGBTQ people and children. A brand, and then suddenly you're accused of being a Trump supporter. If you were that person, hypothetically, and you had built this brand, and suddenly this information leads people to believe en masse that you were voting for someone who would be objectively bad for the brand, would you come out and say, that's not true, that's obviously not true, look at me, I'm obviously not voting for that person, he's against everything I stand for? That would clear things up, yeah? Or if you were voting for that person, would you come out to protect your brand and say, I don't talk politics here? I'll leave it there.
And as a reminder, I will have resources in my description box because I've already talked about Helene once before. I'm going to link those resources and some additional ones in this description box in case y'all are in the position to help, or you just want more information on what you could do. It'll be down there. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.